Hello, today for review I've got pretty interesting true wireless earphones made by company Haylou or Haylou, not sure about the correct pronunciation once again. It's Haylou X1. This company create a few models that received pretty warm acceptance by market. Also they making some smartwatches, and as far as I know they have some relation to Xiaomi, probably it's their subsidiary. And what is interesting here is that this model offers hybrid active noise cancelling, and I can already say, because I've tested them, it's working pretty nicely. And price is below $50, and for that $50 it offers a lot of pretty good things, so that grabs my attention and I decided to review them. As usual, links will be in the description, so let's have a closer look. Package is simple but with nice polygraphy, looks pretty attractive. On the back side they printed main points of interest. So AAC audio codec, no aptX here unfortunately, 3 microphones for clear calls and noise cancelling, 30 hours of battery life or 6 hours of regular playtime on single charge and up to 4 additional charges in case. Low latency game mode activated separately, and they support wireless charging. So minus aptX plus ANC and wireless charging, kind of normal deal. And as usual, under this sleeve you'll find regular cardboard box. Earpieces were here, but of course I already put them in the case. And accessory set is also pretty much traditional. You'll get 2 pair of additional tips and a short USB Type-C cable for charging. So nothing to write home about, but basically common for affordable earphones. So let's remove this film. Case is nice, small, pretty good looking, not big, on the compact side. Of course there are magnets, no strong click here, but magnets hold lid pretty nicely. And inside you'll find earpieces themselves. They have absolutely classical traditional design. Here is main earbud and long extended part with microphone and with sensor controls. Looks, in my opinion, pretty attractive, but actually, from another hand, just basic normal design, what we can call normal design. As it's common for recent true wireless models, spout is made oval, there is a lip for holding the tips and protective grill, and actually you'll need tips with oval stem. But wearing comfort is nice, and they are pretty okay even in terms of passive noise isolation, but with active one it becomes even better. Of course it's not that level of active noise cancelling that is offered by more expensive models by Sony, Bose and so on, but they are pretty good in reducing monotone low frequency noise. So if you work somewhere near the air conditioner or some engine is somewhere near you, active noise cancelling here will do the job pretty nicely. They have sensor control, pretty complicated, but there is no volume control. With different single, double, triple taps you can change different modes, and to toggle them to transparency mode you need to press and hold for 4 seconds the right earpiece. And actually transparency mode here implemented pretty well, and you will be able to hear what's going on outside, or you will be able to speak to someone briefly, so without taking them out. Work time I already said, up to 6 hours, less with active noise cancelling, more without. Connection quality is normal up to 10 meters. When there is no much interference outside, they hold really well. And wireless charging of case works okay. As usual, you can use just one earpiece or both to get stereo sound. Background noise is low, and in this special mode that they call gaming, you're definitely getting a really low latency. So as you can see, in terms of features and other stuff and design, model looks and works pretty nicely. Here is a traditional microphone test. I am recording this part of the video using Haylou X1 as microphones. They are located in my ears, so microphones are in the correct position. I won't apply any gain correction or equalization here, and you'll get an idea of how their microphones sound. And of course about the sound, and it's actually pretty good for those who like fun V-shaped signature. Haylou managed to create a sound that is engaging and at the same time has pretty good technicalities for this price. Bass is accented and as well as treble, so it's a V-shaped signature, but mid frequencies remains pretty audible, and low frequencies stays almost all time stays under control. So let's talk about the sound step by step. I will use a few M11 to show some examples. And low frequencies goes to maximum depths that Bluetooth codecs allows, and actually deeper layers of bass are accented, and it gives fun, engaging, pretty big and massive low frequencies. Resolution is normal overall, and pretty good for affordable true wireless model. Of course, don't expect like all tiniest nuances, saturated overtones. It's not the cheap true wireless models are not created for that. But low frequencies are pretty natural, suiting well both electronic music and pop music, and genres that requires some good representation of acoustical instruments. Of course, it won't be 100% natural, but it will be really engaging and with slight highlighting, so they are pretty drivey and pretty groovy, good with drums and other instruments too. And as an example, typical probably track for this true wireless earphones, the Antwoord Ugly Boy. So nice engaging bass line, pretty big and fun, but at the same time it remains under control almost all time on this track. And Yolandi's vocals are building nice contrapunct for the low frequencies, giving that additional spice on top of the nice engaging bass. Mid frequencies are a typical dynamic driver, not focused on the micro contrast. In terms of resolution, they are okay, not something stellar, but pretty good. And what is more important here, besides of being a little bit warm, they are not poisoned by low frequencies, so bass stays on place almost all time. Of course, on super bass heavy tracks, low frequencies will shadow mids, but it's just a physics, it's unavoidable. Imaginary stage is about average both in width and in depth, not super spacious, but at the same time not sound too congested. They are pretty forgiving for the quality of records, of course, but it's also typical for the true wireless model. So nice dynamic driver sound with a slight hint of added warmth, giving overall good body for the instruments and vocals. Emotions are represented nicely, but not highlighted by the earpieces themselves. And actually, as an example for the mid frequencies, I've got a pretty complex track. It's Ride the Lightning by Metallica. And actually I like the sound of this track with these earphones. It's my favorite track by Metallica, so I'm usually critical for it. Of course, they're lacking a bit of detailization to fully represent it, but still it sounds pretty natural, engaging, and at the same time well balanced. That slightly boosted weight gives additional presence to the bass guitar, but at the same time not over saturating it. and the track still remains aggressive enough to sound enjoyable, and at the same time not sounding too bright. And the treble is typical for the TWS earphones. It has average extension, but of course it's limited by the Bluetooth codec first of all, slightly highlighted to compensate low frequencies, but not super sharp or sibilant. Slightly slow in terms of attacks and decays, giving a bit of additional weight, but still basic overtones are represented pretty nicely, and that gives a good sound of crashes, cymbals, and so on. And as an example, I decided to take Bicycle Race by Queen. They have nice percussion here that sounds pretty okay with these earpieces, and of course that part with a lot of bicycle bells also sounds pretty engaging, lacking a bit of refinement typical for the wireless models, but still pretty enjoyable and listenable. Speaking about the comparisons, actually two most recent models that I've tested. First one is Moondrop Neko Cake. Moondrop is more linear, more natural, with noticeably less low frequencies, but more refined on the mids. So basically I'd say that Moondrop is slightly closer to more audiophilic representation, of course for the affordable true wireless model. And this one is more fun, but still really engaging too. And Trania is just with less treble and more focus on the weight and on the bass. And probably I won't recall any other models. That two probably are most recent, so I remember them well. To summarize everything, for that $50 it's a really good model, and during some sales with discounts it's even a better offer, especially for those who are not looking some audiophilic representation but who need active noise cancelling. Thank you for listening, thank you for your attention, and of course have a nice day.